By looking at these ornaments, you might think that there's a lot of increases and decreases in them, but in fact there's none. So it's actually quick and easy to learn by heart how to make these. This one alternates with just red, and every second set of rows has red together with sequin goldy colored yarn. So it looks like this here. This one is entirely in glitter yarn, every second one red and every other one green and silver. Like this here. This is mohair type fluffy yarn with silver glitter yarn. We are working back and forth single crochet ribbing. And then we close both ends, have filling in there, and use a trick to get this more pointed. And at the end, add a tassel and a hanging loop. This is a great leftover yarn project. You only need small amounts of the yarns you choose, and you can either work all in one color or alternate colors or use two colors at the same time. Like I have done in this and this here one, I have used glitter yarns either on their own or combined using two yarns at the same time. And then you need a crochet hook that goes with the yarns you have chosen. And remember that if you are going to put two together, you of course need a slightly bigger hook than if you were only using one, but it doesn't double it. We also need a tiny bit of stuffing. I have bought a very cheap pillow and broken it, and that's how I get all my stuffing. And then something to wind the tassel around. I'm going to use this here ruler, but you can use any household items, just enough to go around. For the one I'm making here now, I'm going to use these two. So I'm going to make it stripy, pink and white. There seems to be a fashion for pink Christmas trees now. I saw this lovely one a while back in Ireland. So I decided to do this one now in non-traditional Christmas colors. So let's start. First we're going to chain 18. So a slip knot and a chain 18. Here. And then starting in the second chain from the hook, a single crochet in every stitch right across. So we're simply starting the ribbing that we need for it. So single crochets right along here, and we will always have 17 single crochets on each row. And then chain 1 and turn and start in the first stitch, but in the back loop only. And each back loop and again to the end the same way. Remember that it's easy to change the speed of any YouTube video. So if it seems that I'm going too fast or too slow, you can go to the settings and change that. Here, and now I'm taking the other color and making one chain using that, and then turning, and then just the same way, back loop and single crochet in every stitch. But there's something I want to mention when we come to the other end, so I'll crochet there now. I'm at the end now, and that stitch, and always with a single crochet ribbing you need to make sure that you take the last stitch as well, and it's a bit hard sometimes to get it there, so just to make sure that you are not starting to decrease. So we are having 17 stitches on every row, and then chain 1 and turn, and again the same way to the other end where we are changing the color again. The other end now, and again the same thing, make sure you take the last stitch as well. And we are going to change, if you are using two colors, we are going to change the color always at the same end. So that means that we are not going to get many yarn ends to finish off at the end. So just cross it over to this row that we're working on, make one stitch and turn, and then continue. So this is what we are doing for the main body of this bobble, going back and forth like that there. And this is forming these sort of ridges, going up and down, up and down. If you have 2 colors, it will be very easy to count. You will need 10 of these. So every second one, altogether 10. So that's 20 rows because we are going back and forth. And if you only have 1 color, then you count these here ridges that you'll have 10 of those. So I'll work on until I have 10. Here we are. I already cut the pink yarn and now leave quite a long tail so that we can sew this and then go around at the end a couple of times. Something like that there. And then finish it off and take a needle. And I'm just going to leave these inside and then fold it into 2 and sew that edge, just each stitch. Just small stitches like that there, right across. Like that there. And depending a bit what kind of yarn you're using, you may be able to pull that a bit so that you get the tighter, so that it shows less. And then we'll close this end first, so pass the needle through these tops of the ridges there. Right across. Now I pass the yarn round and then pull tight. Make a couple of more stitches, one direction and then back so that it stays there. There. Then get some filling and put it in, but don't put too much. It's not supposed to get sort of round. This here much. Maybe I need a little bit more filling here. And then to get this here sort of a shape that goes into a point, we need to do one more thing with the needle and yarn. So take it up again and go a bit further down. They're about at the most 1 centimeter. So something like the width of your little finger or so. Pass the yarn in such a way that it doesn't really show and stay close to the center there. Just going round it once. Here. And now pull that yarn a bit. This is what's going to form that there shape. It's going to keep it from becoming rounded. Like that there. Hope that shows that the shape changed a bit. And then finish off this here yarn. So a couple of times so it doesn't come out. I think I need a little bit more filling, like that. And then I'm looking for where I started it there. That's where my seam is. And then pass the yarn into the stitches and go round a couple of times so it doesn't escape. And now the same for here. So go round there and then pull it tight here. And then do the same at this other end too. Going across, going right round, close to the center. And then pulling that tighter too. So going round here first. Now it's in there and then I tighten it. A bit more. Here. So the shape is finished now. and then we just need the tassel and hanging loop. I'm going to wind the yarn around this here ruler and take both the yarns and hold there and go round 6 times. And then cut it. Leave it long enough for now, we'll cut it later. And first, no, it doesn't stay there, but it will go down eventually. First we are going to tie it up here and take a yarn that's long enough for tying it there, and then a bit more to attach it. And then the yarn through there. There are actually these tassel makers, you know, if you make them often, but I haven't got one. So you tie it very tightly there one way and another way. Then cut it here at the bottom. And then take another piece of yarn and tie that nicely here. There, one way and the opposite way. And then depending on what kind of yarn you have, if they don't sit nicely there, then you can take a needle and put it through into the middle. This here is wool and it stays fine. Even them out by cutting. I should have taken better scissors. And then again here, you might want to make this here sort of a knot. If those yarns are not staying together. I had that problem with the glitter yarns. Just this kind of a knot. Make sure that they go to the same direction. And then pass that through right in the middle there. Somewhere in there. And decide how much you want it to be hanging. Maybe that there. And then finish off the yarn by putting it in there. Okay, we are this far, and then we just need a hanging loop. I think I'll use silver thread for that. So here we are. That's it done. You probably need to wet this to make it nicer shape. But apart from that, it's done. Enjoy making these for yourself or your friends or your family. And see also these other Christmas tree decorations that I have here. And I have a playlist of them. And this here recent one has been very popular too. So there are plenty of different kinds of Christmas decoration tutorials to choose from.